thank you for the honor and privilege to join you at this very special occasion. To the graduating class of 2026, to the proud parents, relatives, and friends, to the university president, Father Francesco Antonio Estepa, the faculty and members of my beloved alma mater, the University of San Carlos, where I finished my elementary, high school, and college. Congratulations. You have done it. You did a good job, and you deserve a big round of applause. As I stand here today, I can't help but recall my own graduation as a chemical engineering student way back in 1968. Let me repeat that, you didn't hear it wrong. 1968, which was a good 58 years ago. And I bet not many of you were born then. But I was 20 years old. I sat where you sat, full of hope, aspiration, and dreams. But I have to admit, I was scared. I was scared of my future. So, if some of you, or if many of the graduates today are feeling scared for the future, I don't blame you. Because you are graduating in a world that is even more challenging, more uncertain, and more in demand of your talents, where technology would be very disruptive of our lives. But I assure you that you can be successful, that you can achieve if you just practice some principles. There's a saying that successful people are successful because they do things that failures don't do. On the other way, failures are failures because they don't do what successful people do. So guys, if I can do it, so can you. Right after graduation, I had to look for a job because my parents were not rich. They were just middle class. So I had to find a job. My first job was with Mobil Oil Philippines as a marketing representative. I was assigned to Iloilo and Bacolod, where I stayed for 5 years. After that, believe it or not, twist of fate. This chemical engineer decided to become a life insurance agent. I sold life insurance and I became a manager for the Visayas and Mindanao, where I stayed for the next 24 years. So for the first 30 years, I was working for somebody else in the corporate world. And then when I was 50, I became unhappy because I knew that the life insurance business I couldn't transfer to my family. So I became my own boss. I became an entrepreneur at the late age of 50. Crazy, stupid, but I wasn't happy. And I know myself, if I'm not happy and passionate with what I do, I couldn't do it well. So what happened, we started a business. We bought Moon Cafe, we bought Thirsty, we bought this waiting restaurant in Cordova, we built it. And today, you've seen our brands. And I want to thank all of you for being our customers. Thank you very much. We wouldn't be here. Today, if you fast forward, we employ over 1,800 people, including our franchises. I actually spent 30 years of my life, or 28 years of my life, as a CEO of our company. And the other day, I stepped down, transferred the leadership mantle to my son, John, and I'm now going to be chairman from here on with a different role. I gave up my office, I gave up my private parking space. So that's how life it is. And if you do what I do, you have a bigger chance of succeeding in life. Let me share with you 3 lessons, 3 principles that I practiced religiously all these years. Just 3. So if you don't remember who my name is for so many years, please remember these principles because they will help you succeed and do something out of your life. The first principle, and this is so important to me, I just realized that it's not money, it's not fame, it's not achievement that motivates me. It's this one. Be a lifelong learner. Be a student for life. Whatever I do, I meet another person, I talk to that person, I just realize I get so excited to learn something from this person. Every piece of paper that I touch, I read to learn something. Every time I turn on the television set, I learn something. That motivates you. And right now, this has been made by further study by the Stanford professor. Her name is Carol Dweck. Mindset, the psychology of success. Two types of mindset, the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. Study this. I am a growth mindset. So be a growth mindset and be a student for life. That's number one. The second one, and this is very important. If you have ideas, you have things you want to do, but you cannot execute, what is the purpose? So second lesson, second principle, become a man or a woman of action. Make things happen, get things done. And you know what? Several years ago, I learned a principle called closing open loops. I don't know if you've heard about this, but let me define what an open loop is. It's very simple. An open loop is anything that is pending, anything that is hanging, anything that you should have done but you did not do. That's an open loop. The trouble is, when you have these open loops, these pending things, they bother your subconscious. And if you're not able to close them, then you get affected. Your forward motion, your effectivity as a person gets affected. So what I've learned is what I do now is I used to have a to-do list. Now I don't. Every time an open loop comes to my lap, I don't do anything. I drop everything and close it. How do you close an open loop? You close an open loop by asking yourself, what is the first best action step to take? Don't think like a chess master where they think 15 steps ahead. Only ask yourself, what is the first best action step to take? It should be an action step. It's not a thought step. Give an example. Yesterday, I got a call, I got a text that our air conditioner in House of Lechon, there in Acacia Street, got busted. It didn't work. To me, that was an open loop. So what did I do? I didn't put this in a piece of paper and put it in my cell phone. I just looked at my cell phone, who is our contractor for air conditioner. His name is Primo. I tossed it, I called Primo. I said, Prim, naggubak ang among air conditioner sa House of Lechon. Palihugog adto dito. He went there, and in 2 hours it was fixed. I closed the open loop. And all your lives, you will always have open loops in your lives, pending things that you haven't done, things that you promised people. If you don't close these open loops, they keep on bothering you. They keep on bugging you until you close them. It's not the large things in your life that affect our lives. It's the small things. Even a promise to your kid to buy him a coloring book in National Bookstore. If you haven't done that at all, that's an open loop that will constantly bug you, and it will never go away because it bothers your subconscious. So again, number one, be a lifelong learner. Second is be a man or a woman of action. And the third, a very important lesson that I've learned is use prayer as a power. You know, when I was young, my grandmother, Lola Taling, shared with me a powerful prayer that I've used all my life. The beautiful part of this prayer, it has only 3 lines. A prayer as powerful as this with 3 lines. I want to share it with you today, and please pray it with me. So this is the third lesson and last lesson that I want to share with you. And the prayer runs like this. God is with me. God is helping me. God is guiding me. Can you say it with me? Everybody in this ballroom, please. God is with me. God is helping me. God is guiding me. So everyone, 3 principles, 3 lessons. Number 1, be a student of life. Student for life. Be an action person. And use the prayer, God is with me, God is helping me, God is guiding me. And you know what? I just realized I'm 78 years old. I'm turning 79 this coming November, but I feel young. I feel young because my favorite poem entitled Youth is the one principle that I've practiced all my life. So I'd like to end this short talk, short sharing, with my favorite quotation. Favorite poem is called Youth. Listen to the words and try to practice them. Youth. Youth is not a time of life. It is a state of mind. It is not a matter of ripe cheeks, red lips, or strong knees. It is a temper of the will, a quality of the imagination, and a freshness of the springs of life. Nobody grows old by merely living a number of years. People grow old only by deserting their ideals. Years may wrinkle the skin, but to give up interest wrinkles the soul. Worry, doubt, self-distrust, fear, and despair. These are the long, long years that bow the head and turn the growing spirit back to dust. You are as young as your faith, as old as your fear, as young as your self-confidence, as old as your despair, as young as your hope, as old as your darkness. In the central place of your heart, there is a recording chamber. So long as it receives messages of beauty, hope, cheer, and courage, you are young. When the wires are all down and your heart is covered with the snow of pessimism and the ice of cynicism, then and only then are you grown old. So ladies and gentlemen, my friends, thank you and God bless everyone.